Oh man, you guys are in for a real treat. Woo. All right, starting off this episode strong. It is, of course, The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, 3D, and we are going deep inside the Deku Tree. I've never been so inside the Deku Tree than I am right now. And actually, we got a brand spanking goddamn new enemy called the Deku Baba. So these are kind of like the other Deku, whatever the hell, the Deku shitty Dekus that we found. Only difference is they're a little more aggressive. So you can see he's kind of thinking on it. He decides he's gonna actually just jump at you. But if you get too close to them, they'll just fucking leech it. They'll lurch at you. Not leech, that's not the right word. So there's two ways we can actually kill this thing. You can stun it and then cut it down for a stick. Or you can just attack the head and we can get some nice nuts. These things are so dope. All right, they're becoming a little more popular lately in the Legend of Zelda, you know, like meta, the Ocarina of Time meta. Basically, what they do is they stun your enemies. So they're pretty useful in various situations. I'm sure I don't even use them to their full potential. But I'm gonna try to I try to use them whenever I can because they are just that awesome. Of course, we can just get regular sticks if you cut them down at the base, as is the usual protocol. So this is just the introductory dungeon. Being that this was the first 3D Zelda, it makes great use of 3D space and verticality. For instance, we're climbing upward right now. Navi's just telling us that we can climb on these rough surfaces. However, if we do, this other brand new enemy, known as the Skullwaltula, will just go completely apeshit if he sees us. So they turn perp, and they normally just come right at you, but I kind of just ran into it. I'm pretty sure it's possible to make it up those vines without like getting spotted by them, but we're gonna try to find some tools instead. But first we get the dungeon map. This thing is just completely awesome and always used by people who play this game nonstop because you always need to know where you're going. People really love that Navi stops you when you're dead in your goddamn tracks to give you little tips and tricks. And right here we got a Deku Scrub. So he's gonna launch his nuts right at us. Luckily we got our shield here. So just using the power of physics, we'll bounce that right back. These things are actually huge pussies if you can't tell. It tells us when we jump off a high cliff, we can roll if we land forward. So everybody knows that if you just roll when you hit the bottom of a cliff, then you won't get hurt. That's the magic of momentum. So here we got a cool little room with this block floating in mid goddamned air. It was actually lighter than the air, but see, when Link jumps on it, he adds to the weight and then it falls down. So now that platform's gone, but we do have the fairy slingshot. I don't know what the hell makes it a fairy slingshot, but it can launch Deku seeds. Not to be confused with Deku nuts. And I hope you're writing all this down because it's very important. And a little bonus. A big fat heart from Mom. Thank you. So let's equip this bad boy. I usually don't like to have like items I use a lot on the touch buttons because they're awkward. This game actually gives you quite a bit of item slots to use here. But we can use our slingshot in first person. Really nice on the 3DS because you can use these hands with the gyro controls. And really great for like, you can use the control stick for kind of like macro movements. And then once you got your general position, you can kind of micro move your slingshot. And it's really great. One of the many things that this game this game really, the remake added on the original game. So this is the ammo for our slingshot here. We got some Deku seeds, and these bushes will actually grow back, like so. So it's pretty nice. You can like continue to like. Let's say you were just a complete fucking like shit show with the slingshot, and you missed the ladder like 5 million times and wasted all your ammo. Well, you can never run out because of those regenerating bushes. Isn't that clever? So now that we got the slingshot, we can really put the shit to these skull wall tools. Take out that little criminal up there. And make our way safely up the vines. Nice. And I wonder if they improved the climbing speed for this game. I'm not actually sure. And ooh, look at this big bad motherfucker, the big Skulltula. Luckily it's got a soft belly. That's its weak point right there. Because we attack it from the front, all they do is a little jig. And that's just no good. And so you notice they'll take 2 hits. But what you can actually do if you want to do some more damage, actually let's test the stick thing first. Well, that was a jump attack, which actually does more damage anyway. So let's try it out. Let's try it on the last one. No. There you go. All right. So the stick takes him out in 1 hit. So the stick does in fact do more damage. Before we continue on here, let's check this door. I know it's in here. You know it's in here. Yo mama knows it's in here, but doesn't matter. This is a completion run. Even though it's not 100%, this is a completion run. Knowing me, this will end up being 100%. I hope it doesn't end up being 100%. We got the compass, so the compass is going to allow us to see treasure chests in the dungeon. There's not that many in this dungeon, so this shit's pretty much worthless. Oh well. There's a little bonus chest up there. Get away from me, Deku Baba. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. So we can try. We can show off the stick torch mechanic. Actually, add these bad boys. The stick will burn up eventually if you don't get rid of it, but if you just take out your sword or put away the stick somehow, then you won't lose your stick, which is good. Yep. Jesus Christ. So don't do that. The stick will also break if you hit something with it, so even though they do more damage, you do have to like keep like getting more. So here we go. It's a great use for the nuts. Now we can really put the business to this fucking spider. And he just drops dead. Great reward. And here we go. Navi actually won't target these, funnily enough. I don't really know the reason why, but in any case, these are gold Skulltulas. These do not respawn. There's 100 in the game. So each one brings you closer to that you gradually kill all of them across the game. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So with each one you get a little token proving you destroyed it, and we'll see what those are for later. Really all you need is like 50. The rest, it's pretty well known that it's not worth getting more than 50. So this is a great little puzzle for the first 3D Zelda game. In order to progress further in the dungeon, we have to get all the way up here and use our big fat body to break the webs. Really like that little puzzle there. It's always fun to do. So take out this other gold Skulltula right here. The ones in the dungeon can be pretty annoying because if you miss them, then you have to go back into the dungeon and get them. There's some that actually require you do that, and it gets obnoxious. But luckily, you only need 50, and there's 100. So most of the time, you don't even have to bother. Some of them are tricky to get. Like, for instance, this one, I mean, we can't reach that, but I wonder if we can reach it. Sometimes you can reach them with a little backflip. And in the case of this one, little jump off there, and we got it. So pretty much this dungeon is just going to be like a series of pretty... Ooh, hold up. A series of pretty simple little puzzles, kind of just getting you to grips with controlling Zelda in a 3D space. And some other little clever... this is actually a pretty clever little puzzle too. Because like if you get in the water, then your stick will go out. So you gotta use this little area right here where you can actually walk. So it's kind of interesting. They use like they use all sorts of different like things like that. I don't even really know what I'm trying to say, but they pack a lot into this dungeon. Get your brain working in all sorts of different ways. Gotta run one of these little bastards, but he's gonna teach us something cool. So he's telling us we have to punish his brothers in the proper order. Well, I mean, I'm all for punishment. So 23 is number 1 is the code. I'm sure that's gonna be super helpful later. And once again, we have a very difficult puzzle here. Shoot the eye with a slingshot. Again, not that complicated, but just teaching you that it's always helpful to look around now that you're in a 3D space. And now we're going to learn a little bit more about water. I guess the little torch puzzle was kind of the introduction to water. Now we're going to get a little bit more of a crash course on how water works. So we're going to actually have to hit this switch down here. You know, it's kind of funny. They go through the trouble of like giving you this whole room on diving and stuff like that. Diving's not really used that much in the game. Now that I think about it, like, in fact, I don't even know if there's ever a time when you have to dive and press a switch like that again in an optional segment or otherwise. Navi, listen to me. Shut the fuck up. She does get pretty obnoxious. So we'll just kill this guy. You actually don't even need to kill this guy. And I probably shouldn't have because I usually don't. And I mean, after all, that is the magic of me in this playthrough. I really need to make sure that I do my personal way of playing this game. Otherwise, Nintendo will have copyrights to this playthrough and take all my ad revenue. But yeah, you don't need to kill that spider. You just push the block ever so slightly up to the cliff, and you can actually get by him. Which isn't important at all, but it's just kind of a fun little thing. And then another simple torch puzzle. I thought there was a treasure chest in this room, but I guess there's not. I think I'm going crazy. Hit him with a nut. And here's a fun little enemy here. Got these little eggs on the ceiling. I'll let some of them hatch just so we can ask Navi what the fuck's going on here. Goma larva. Look out when it gets ready to pounce. I thought it said ready to produce for a second. But how can a larva possibly produce? They are the result of production. And so here we got a few little branching paths here. We can burn down both these webs. Let's go ahead and do so. So one leads to a little flower enemy that wants to eat us, and one leads to a little wall butthole right there. Probably running a little low on nuts. I got 5 nuts. So let's get some nuts. And then we got this cracked wall here. We can't do anything with this right now, but you will notice it makes a different noise than the rest of the walls when you hit it with your sword. So we won't be coming back to that because there's nothing important back there. But later on, if we wanted to, we could come back to that and get something cool out of it. Actually, it'd be a gold Skulltula, which isn't cool at all. So I fucking lied. I really like this point. This is probably one of my favorite things about the dungeon here is this this block that you push down to make a shortcut. I really, really love when levels or areas in video games are designed to make you go through a whole bunch of shit, and then you do one little action like that, and all of a sudden, holy fuck, all those rooms we just did, you never have to do them again. So if we did want to go, say, back to where that wall was, where where we can get the gold Skulltula, even though we're not gonna, it'd be as simple as just coming in the dungeon, going down that hole, and coming up here and going through the hole and the wall. Really like that shit. And it's nice that the first dungeon in the game did it. It also serves a practical use because we're going to need to grab some fire from this torch and set this ablaze. Although we can't do it unless we... I actually don't know what the fuck I did right there. Usually you get the torch, or usually you get the stick and like roll or like slash it or something, but I accidentally hit the slingshot button thinking it was the stick. It's good to see that the Twilight Princess tradition of pressing the wrong button all the time is really pushing through to the other Zelda games. I'm really fucking happy about that. So here we have, oh, remember that guy who told us the code? 23 is number 1. Yeah, basically we just have to nut these guys in the order 2, 3, 1. What's funny about this puzzle is in Master Quest, they don't give you a code. At least not that I know of. You just pretty much have to guess, and it's a different code than it is in the regular version. So I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, it's not that many. There's not that many like what would you call it? Permutations or combinations? I don't remember. There's not that many combinations, so it's pretty easy. But I just thought that's funny. So he gives us this little tip about Goma, the boss. And we're going to see how much of a fight that this boss puts up, because she's actually kind of a bitch. So I actually really like how this boss kind of like lays itself out when you first... I like that it makes you look up after you hear it, and then you find it. I just think there's something so memorable about that. So when she goes red, you know, I was gonna try to just fucking smoke this boss in like 2 seconds, but you know, that's no fun. You want the fight to last a little bit longer. It's the first boss fight in the game. So she'll climb up there and she's gonna do all sorts of nasty shit. Let's get another slingshot here. So her eye actually turns red up there. You know, I really do like this boss a lot. It's so fucking easy. That's what I really wish, is just had more health. I think this boss really needs some more health, because you don't ever get to see a lot of her moves if you're even remotely good at the game. You don't even have to be good at the game. You just have to know how to play the game. And you never get to see any of her moves. But anyway, that's Goma. We didn't get to see all of her attacks, but if she didn't suck so bad, it wouldn't be that way. Anyway, so we get this heart container after every boss. Of course, you get a heart container. Our max life increases by 1. And then all that's left to do is step into the light. Thank you. I agree. Yeah, that was pretty good. It only took us like 20 minutes. Nah, I'm good. Nah, bruh. Thou must know my time is short. He just fucking goes right into it. Don't worry, Deku Tree. That will never happen. We just got a rock from a tree. But it's the Kokiri's Emerald. So this is one of the 3 spiritual stones that we're going to need to find. But at least we aren't courageous. And we have Navi. And with that, the tree lost his ability to speak. But it's still a tree. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that little delve into the bowels of the Great Deku Tree. And in the next episode, we're going to continue on that search or at least start that search for the Princess of Destiny and the other 2 magical, mystical stones. We're gonna get the stones. Hope you'll join me then. Catch you next time.